In the early 2000s, AIDS was having a terrible impact worldwide, especially in Africa, which was facing what really could only be termed almost a demographic collapse, with an entire generation about to be lost. So the situation was dire. There were a lot of people who really didn't think that it could be fixed, that it could be turned around because it was so severe. PEPFAR stands for the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. It grew out of a bill passed by Congress that authorized the United States Department of State to coordinate all of the U.S.'s international responses to HIV/AIDS and to a series of other global health initiatives. And additionally, Congress put a lot of new money into it as well. PEPFAR is what we refer to as kind of the initiative on this side of the pond, and we did a lot of work in coordination with the Global Fund to combat tuberculosis, malaria, and AIDS as well. The United States response to the crisis was magnificent and magnanimous. It was the largest outpouring ever of a global health initiative response that the world has ever seen. It was led by the United States. Congress appropriated funds to authorize the State Department to coordinate with USAID and our Department of Health and Human Services to go in and really attack the disease at every level, to go in and do prevention services, to provide care to those who needed it because of what had happened through their family structures with the disease, and then to provide treatment, which was the real key element that was missing. There was no treatment. In 2003, when PEPFAR began, there were 50,000 people on antiretroviral treatment on the entire continent of Africa. And now there are over 17 million people who have received treatment and continue to receive ART treatment today. It would be hard to overstate the impact of PEPFAR. I mean, we went from, in 2003, having 50,000 people on the entire continent of Africa who were receiving antiretroviral treatment. They were facing a demographic collapse because HIV was just wiping out. It looked poised to wipe out an entire generation on the continent. So the situation was dire, and after 15 years of PEPFAR, they've saved over 17 million lives there. I think that there are 15 million men, women, and children have been placed on antiretroviral treatment over the years. Maybe most exciting to me, 2.2 million infants were born to HIV-positive mothers, and they were HIV negative because they received the treatment during birth to make sure that the disease wasn't transferred to them. It has been a phenomenal success story. Really, maybe the single most successful public health intervention in the history of the world. Maintaining support for PEPFAR is critically important because this is something that can turn around. It can go backwards. We can lose the ground. Essentially, we can lose the investment that we've made in the future of sub-Saharan Africa. I think it would be a terrible thing to start to see that to unwind. And there is a lot there that still needs to be done. There are a lot of public health needs that have to be dealt with. There are a lot of knock-on effects that come from a society that has had to deal with HIV/AIDS infection rates at such a high level that right now to step back, I think, would be a tragedy. We would be fighting to the brink of victory and surrendering.